Class, I want you to be a procedure. I want you to imagine that you are a procedure which is expected to multiply two numbers together and return the product back to me. Okay, you're a procedure. Multiply. Go ahead, multiply. You don't know what to do. You can't multiply unless I tell you the two numbers. A procedure that's going to multiply two numbers needs to have two input parameters, the two factors to be multiplied. Once those would be available to you, you would be able to multiply them. For example, multiply 5 times 10. You will process that, you'll do the multiplication, and you would tell me 50. That would be the output parameter of the procedure. Raptor procedures work in the same way. Let's try it. Let's make a Raptor program. I've got one started here called multiply, and let's create a procedure in that. Right click on main here, and we'll select add procedure. Here's the create procedure dialog. Looks kind of complex, but really all you have to do is name your procedure and also identify your parameters. Let's say we call the procedure multiply, and we'll use a factor 1 as one of the parameters, and that'll be an input parameter, so we'll leave that checked. The other factor we can call factor 2, which is also an input parameter. And lastly, we would have the product, the result of the multiplication, but that's not an input, that's an output, so we check the output box for it. We can just ignore the rest of the dialog box. So we've got a procedure called multiply. It's going to have two inputs called factor 1 and factor 2, and it's going to output the product. That's exactly what you did when you were imagining yourself as a Raptor procedure. Okay, here's what it looks like. Take a look at the oval for the procedure. Lets you know that you've got two inputs, factor 1 and factor 2, and one output parameter called product. Now, let's do the job, the same job that you did when you did the multiplication. We have to pick an assignment symbol, insert that right here, and for the assignment we're going to specify that our product is factor 1 times factor 2. Same thing you did, multiply the two together. That's all we have to do. The product will automatically be tossed back to our main function here when we run this particular procedure. Okay, done. Let's go back to main. Main currently doesn't have anything in it, so we need to call up that procedure using the call symbol. Select it, double click on it, and what we want to call up is our procedure called multiply, and we now need to specify. You'll notice we're getting some pretty good help down below. We want the two factors. Well, I'm going to use the same ones that we used a moment ago, 5 and 10, and don't forget we have to include the third parameter, which is unknown at this point. We can, however, identify it as product. Okay, there's what the call looks like. This will do the multiplication, return the value back as product. Now I need to capture that in an output in order to do something useful with it. So we'll create an output, and in that output we will specify, we'll keep it pretty simple, we'll just say the product is plus product, because that's the name of the variable. Okay, let's give it a run, and we'll run it step by step. Alright, now we're in the procedure, and you can see that the values for factor 1 and factor 2 have in fact been passed in as 5 and 10. Next step, we'll perform a calculation. There it is, there's our 50 showing up. Next step, we'll finish this and take us back to main, and now we are back in main. You can see that product is now a value of 50. We'll finish it up, and there's your output. Product is 50.